week, but I had family visiting, so I had a week off. But anyway, let's get into today's vlog. So this week's vlog is going to be about a makers market that I'm going to be attending with my design and illustration business. So I decided that I need to do a little setup just on the dining room table, just to see how much stock I had, what I needed to do, whether I needed to get anything. So I got basically some baskets, because obviously my illustration work is based around animals, nature, botanicals, flowers, all of that kind of stuff. I decided to go with baskets because it was more natural. So luckily enough, I have some of these around the house anyway. So I set up this on my dining room table. The actual table for the makers market is slimmer, it's less wide, but it's longer. So the table is coming in a week or so. So I'll be able to do like a dummy run then. Also got a tablecloth coming, my new sign, some business cards, price labels, things like that. So yeah. So first things first was wrapping paper. So I got all of my stock was upstairs at the moment, just because obviously since moving it's in a cupboard at the moment upstairs. So I was having to bring that down. So here's the first sort of basket. It's not quite full up yet, but I've got my spring badger and my mouse and buttercup designs. Then I've got some more little basket trays and placemats here, which I've managed to find around the house. And then I'm just getting out my greetings cards here. I've got some gift tags on the table, also some postcards and my bookmarks. I'm not going to talk through this whole vlog, so I'll just put some music in the background and then catch up with you in a little bit. So my plan for the table was to do half the brighter style of products, and then the other side, the pastel side. Because my Makers Market is on Easter Saturday, I thought the pastel side was more like spring products, and then the brighter side was more summer products. Because it's in April, it's sort of spring, summer, so I thought that was quite a good idea. I am taking, I think, a few Christmassy bits, obviously not because we're anywhere near Christmas, just because I know some people do buy presents and gifts throughout the year, just to sort of break down the cost and stuff like that. So I do have some gift wrap cards and gift tags of Christmas, which I might put at the front of the stall, just at the bottom, so it's not in with the spring summer stuff, it's sort of on the separate bit. But I'm not definite in that. If this Makers Market goes well, I'm hoping to do one a month, maybe even two, and obviously I'll do ones at Christmas as well, so obviously I'll keep that stock for them. So yes, I have moved around a few bits. Some bits were working, some bits weren't. I have found that I do need a few more little baskets for the smaller things, and I don't really have that many greetings cards at the moment, but I'm not going to order any more. I'm just going to see how this Makers Market goes, because obviously if it doesn't go that well, I probably won't do one again, or I'll wait until nearer Christmas and just do one then. But obviously if it goes really well, then I'll invest in some more stock. I didn't know if I would have enough stock actually for this one, but it turns out I've got quite a bit of stock and might not need it all, so that's sort of handy in one way. But anyway, I'll let you get back to the music and I'll catch up with you again in a minute. So here's the setup at the moment. So I've got my stickers, my dandelion collection in the front with the invitations in the boxes. I've got some gift tags in a bowl plus hanging just to show what they look like. Obviously these will be filled up a little bit more. And then I've got all the pastels on this side, the peacock, the rainbow, dandelion. I've got all the new sticker bags. Got the greetings cards, bookmarks, badges, and then this side is the more vibrant side, with the orchid collection, the hydrangea and bee, the dreaming, and the tropical giraffe. So yeah, as I say, I just need, and I changed a little bit at the back. So I've got my art prints on show, the ones in the frames, and then the ones in the basket are unframed. So you can just see here, this side is the pastel side, and then this side is the brighter side. So that they're separated by spring and summer. I think that looked well. And then the little sticker bags in the middle. So I've just got to get some more baskets for the gift tags and some of the smaller bits. But yeah, overall I'm happy so far. As I say, I'll do another dummy one once the table comes, the tablecloth, the sign, business cards, and all those little bits. So yeah, looking forward to it. That'll be in another vlog. I also wanted to show you, I went to a pottery class or classes a few weeks ago, just in a local sort of like artist studios. This one was a hand building course for the mug one. So as you can see here, I couldn't film in there because obviously there was other people and the lady was teaching, so I took some photos instead. So this was the mug, or the sort of bowl to begin with before it became a mug, little bowl. So we hand built this in clay. It was quite, she gave you like a template, so you worked from that, and then it was just a case of like smoothing all of the edges, and then you could put any pattern you wanted onto it. Obviously the inside was quite tricky because you have to do make sure all of the joins are sealed properly, because obviously once it's fired you can actually use this as a mug for coffee, tea, or iced coffee or something like that. So for the design, I wanted it to be quite vintage looking, so the lady had some like lace and stuff, so I decided to lay that on the top of the clay and then use the paint to go over to create like a lace look to mine. And then I picked out that design with like little knives so that it sort of etched into the clay. And then the colours, they only had limited colours. They only had black, white, blue or orange. And I wanted more of like a nudie colour, so I did a very light sort of cover of the orange. And then you stamp your initials on the bottom just so that she knows once it's fired whose is who. So, and it was quite a biggish mug. I usually prefer smaller mugs, but it was quite a big mug. We did the handle, which was quite tricky because obviously it's very delicate. So you can see some of the detail here, so you sort of like gouge out some of the pattern, and then you can see sort of like the pale orange glaze that's been put on the top. And then once you've done it at the pottery class was 3 hours long, so once you're finished you leave your mug there and it gets fired. They do that for you, and then you pick it up 6 weeks later. So this is how it looks. So the natural colour of the glaze is this like creamy colour, this off-white, and then you can see the light orange colour there, and then the bits which I've gouged out in like a lacy pattern. I didn't do the lace all the way round, I just did it on sort of like the front part, which you can see here. Obviously it needs refining. This was my first go, so obviously you can see that some little bits needed smoothing down. It's a little bit wonky. The shape isn't sort of like even, but it did sort of sit flat on the top, so that was quite good. The handle ended up being quite good. I was worried that it might break off, but actually it stayed on well, so that was good. And so once it's glazed, it's fully sort of like hygienic to drink from. Obviously you can't put them, I don't think, in the dishwasher or microwave. You just sort of like hand wash them. But yeah, I was happy so far with how it was looking. I think I would have liked different colours, like more colours available, or that you could mix the colours, like a nice light pink or turquoise or something like that. But I did find the colours quite limiting there. But overall, I would give it, I would definitely recommend doing something like that. And obviously this is my first go, so I'm quite pleased and happy with how it turned out, and would definitely, do one again. yeah, so it was really good. And you can see where I just stamped my initials on the bottom, just so they knew where it was. But yeah, I'll show you a video of it all the way around, which I did when I got home. So that's coming up in a second, and you'll be able to see it. And there we go. So it does look nice and shiny, and it's actually not as big. I think once it's fired, they must shrink a bit because it's not as big as it was, as I remembered it anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, a little bit creative one, this one. Please like and subscribe, and hello again to the ladies in America. Next week there'll be some out and about vlogs, because with my family we went out and explored some places, so we'll be showing that on the next vlog. So see you then. Thanks and goodbye.